So tell me.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me about what's going on in here.
Look here? Or do I look here?
Please open your hymnals to introduce.
I might put my leg here so I can be close to you because that calms me down. Okay. All right.
Just briefly describe what's going on, what's been going on with you in the last year.
Briefly describe would be hard, but I would say that I am in the process of of claiming or learning that I have some neurodivergency, and that neurodivergency looks a lot like just a really wide emotional bandwidth. And I knew that as a child that I had these giant emotions that were terrifying. But you function in the world that you're in and you just learn how to operate in it. And for most of my life, I operated to the best of my ability. But now, I think in this last year, I've realized that not everybody is absorbing that amount of energy from every angle, and not everyone, I don't know, that it's more the outside world is affecting my inner world more than I guess I realized. Does that make sense?
Just say more. Your outside world is affecting your
inner world? Just I'm learning what sensitivity really means, and I think we live in a society that doesn't. I was just now understanding what highly sensitive kids and neurodivergent kids that are operating on a higher bandwidth of they're absorbing more, light, for example. When I walk into Target after understanding what using red lights and then or candlelight and just turning off these, my body, I can feel it instantly drop into relaxing. Or Did
you say when you walk into Target with all the fluorescent lights,
yeah. 100%.
Shocks the system?
Shocks the system. I'm starting to get dizzy, but I didn't realize. I thought that was just everybody sort of did that until, you and you're
I don't know about everybody, but I don't have that experience.
The colors, the sound. It's like a nervous system. I don't know. And maybe it's supposed to be like that, so then I make poor decisions and buy more. Maybe it's great marketing, but...
All right, so you're, neurodivergent.
So neurodivergent, and that's a lot of that, one of the things I fear most is losing control, and not losing control of, not hurting someone, but losing control of my kids when I'm in a really close setting with them, the car, for example. That's one of my triggers. Or I can't get out, and the noise level gets to a certain, I start to almost hyperventilate. I feel like I can't breathe. And things start feeling and I feel like I just got to run and get out of there. And so for so long, that's why driving to your mom's, I would keep me up at night and stuff because I'm worried.
When you were driving to my mom's with just the kids?
Yes.
Without me?
Yeah, without you.
Yeah.
Because when you're there, it's fine because at least you can I put on my noise cancellation headphones and you're
I'm driving.
I got it. Yeah, you're driving. But all of those things, I just kind of assumed they were anxiety. I didn't realize the anxiety is fully tied to this feeling of I'm losing control or my system is getting overwhelmed. It's that fight or flight of things shutting down. I just didn't have that language. And so now as I'm realizing, as we're trying to unpack this sort of definitely as a couple, you recognize the skills that I had in the past to cope aren't as helpful or aren't serving me well to my family or my kids. And I want to be a mom who doesn't have to worry about getting dysregulated all the time around her kids. I want to be the steady in the room for them. But it doesn't just come naturally. And so working this whole year of figuring out whoa, first of all, I'm realizing for the first time, dysregulation is not what the normal looks like. When you bought me those noise cancellation headphones and I wore them for a week, I cried of relief for I was is this what it's like for most people to just walk around and be able to be not bombarded?
For sure.
So
you got the neurodivergence, we got highly sensitive to sights and sounds and stimulation.
Highly sensitive.
You've always known, correct me if I'm wrong, about some sort of anxiety. Not when you were little, but there's an anxious strain in your family.
Totally.
But did you...
So I think, I definitely have some of that too. So I assumed that was what it was. My family we have a lot of mental health. Actually, I think a lot of people...
You just mentioned it in the past about, some people in your family have anxiety.
Yes.
Lots of people have anxiety. I don't mean necessarily to so high a degree or whatever, but you guys run hot. You know what I mean?
Oh, we do.
All right. So this past weekend was super, super tough.
Yes.
And in many instances, you had to remove yourself.
Yes.
From the situation because of overstimulation.
That's right.
By the way, we have 2 kids. They're about 4 and 2. Mm-hmm. And so
wonderful.
It's sort of, they're great.
Hectic.
They're happy and healthy, but it's
normal
bananas.
Kids, yeah.
So can you walk me through what your day feels like from morning to night during a weekend that we had, or, this past weekend, which was unique in that it was so acute, your overstimulation?
Yeah. Well, I guess I would say part of that is the hard thing because I never know really what is. I'm still learning why certain days I'm more heightened and when I say heightened, I mean, honestly, like when I feel my kids or like come downstairs and they're screaming or something, I can feel like I start shaking a little bit from absorbing all of that like energy and like just like, and I stop being able to think about like what, if you ask me like get the orange juice out and the noise is so high that like I can't think of anything. And so then I start to, like my mind stops. And that's really scary. Like I can't, I'm like, what did you just ask me? Because I'm not processing. And I don't know why certain times or certain days. And like it is kind of like, who knows if it's tied to the monthly or I don't know. But there's certain times that I feel more porous or I feel like I have a harder time holding a boundary of like, their energy comes to me and overwhelms me. Like I don't feel like I have a solid boundary around that says like I'm safe in my body, even if you guys are dysregulated. Like there's that boundary there is really hard to keep, and when that happens, it's like almost like the tuning fork thing. Like it's like, and then like I come downstairs and I feel like, oh my god, where am I? And it.
So that's what you mean by porous, like other people's dysregulation. Or other sounds, or
the lights, like the lights were really
external things.
Yes,
and people really sort of are impacting, influencing,
100%.
Sort of getting to you.
Yes, and I feel like in those moments I do kind of lose control of my emotions because I do sink into that fight or flight. It's almost like, babe, I don't know what you're saying to me, but I gotta leave right now because and like I can see you being like, huh, like we're just talking, and I'm like. No, we're not. The whole world is like collapsing and I can't. And I know looking at your face that that's not what's happening. So like, that's confusing because to me, so then you feel like, what's wrong with me? And I think all that shame and guilt, I think a lot of it was being tied to like this anxiety and the emotions. It's all, and the sensitivity all goes together.
Would you say it's like that in the morning?
So,
in other words, like, does sleep help you reset?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And so it's like more acute at dinner time?
It's really like definitely dinner time is my hardest time of the day. So like
I guess I'm asking if that stimulation over the course of the day sort of builds and builds and builds. Are the breakfasts with the family a little easier than the dinners? Yes,
and I don't think of course, like you're like a battery like that. Like you sort of are like...
In terms of energy, definitely.
Yeah, you like wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm helpful, I'm doing all the things. And then like 5 p.m. and you're like, you're still doing a lot of the work, but your tank is lower.
Yeah.
My tank doesn't really operate necessarily, so it doesn't feel like the mornings necessarily are easier. It just feels like certain days. It's like certain days I wake up and I'm much more heightened. And so those mornings are a lot harder than... I don't know, some mornings I can just handle it better, but it's never like a morning to evening. It's not like the sleep resets the clock. It's more like my system is operating more on like the buffer. Like I tell you about the airport. When I go to the airport, the days after coming home, like my system is shot. Like I feel like I can't be around our kids. I'm like, holy smokes, I gotta be in quiet. I gotta put on something on my face and like have something on me to keep me safe. So I think in those instances, it's like the buffer of being able to be resilient against or keeping myself feeling like I'm safe in my body. It gets reduced. Does that?
Yeah, I mean,
and so it's not
that's why we're having these conversations, because I want to understand it better from your perspective. I don't experience these things the same way you do, but I don't know.
Well, and talking about energy, there's a lot of energy things that and this is all, you're absorbing different energy. That's all it is. It's like the lights are hitting you at a different, and like the noise, and so like that porous, and so
it doesn't reset every day. It has more to do with like larger sort of what's been going on maybe in the week, or something like that.
Correct.
Would you describe for the people out there on the YouTubes your experience recently at the airport?
Yeah, I can do that. So I'm coming home from Atlanta, where I was there for work, and the airport has always sort of been tricky for me. I like going if there's somebody else like Bryce, or somebody that can hold the gates like that we're supposed to go to in their head. Like you would be like, okay, that you're really good with holding the time and like keeping that. And even if I look at the time, or even if I look at the gate, and I'm like, okay, I need to go to A8 and I need to be there. We're boarding at like 3:25. That information goes like this, like 5 minutes later.
I mean, it doesn't stick in.
It doesn't stick. And I'm like, where am I? And then I have to like, okay, look through my bag again. And I'm like, A8, going this way, A8 and A8. And sometimes I do put it in my phone. Like that's why I have to work through it. But I still have to continue picking my phone up to say, what is it? And so that is like, there's a constant sort of like, not feeling like I know where I am or going in the first place.
And you think that's a product of this porosity of like so much happening in the airport that it's just sort of overwhelming? Is that,
or just a part of my brain? I don't know if it's like that, ADHD or ADD or whatever. Like when you seek novelty, and so like that information's just so hard to retrieve. But like I'm on to the next thing very quickly. So, and even if it's like, okay, we'll slow down and try and do it, like I do that, and that still doesn't help. And so then you feel kind of like, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I? So then the shame narrative starts talking of like, this should be easy. It's not easy for me. Phew. And so those things are already kind of heightened when I'm getting through the airport. But then it was it was busy, security, and there's tons of people around, and security, the lights are like, it's literally like the strong lighting, and I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm in like,
wasn't there a gate agent that was like, hello?
Yes. So we were in line, and the gate agent, the person in front of me, was like, hey, get out your stuff. You know what they're saying, like shoes, no shoes. Everywhere has different rules. So I'm like, is it shoes or no shoes? Is it computer or like belt, jewelry? And they're like, and then they'll look at you like, keep your computer in your bag. And you're like, well, the last airport I came to was like, have your computers out. And so it's very confusing.
Yeah. So if you have pencils, take them out. But if you have pens, you can leave them in.
Correct.
If you have white shoelaces, you need to take them out and like hold them up. If you have black shoelaces, you can keep them on your shoes unless they're Nike. And then you have to, it's like 100%. Solving a Rubik's Cube like in the moment.
100%. And airport. So like in airport culture, it seems like it's kind of normal to, I guess you're working with the public and they're never listening. So I'm sure you get tired and you're like.
Yeah, I empathize with the gay agents.
Yes.
A lot of people don't listen or are rude. I get it.
Yes, I do too. But the point is that so the person in front of me had their headphones on or something, and the gate agent was like, kind of fussed at him because he didn't know the rules, which fine. But that like fussing at him, when I saw it, the intensity of her face and her voice towards him, like I can even feel it now. It like shook me. And so, I'm like, I'll be fine. And so I'm trying to do it, and it's my turn. So he goes on, and I try to step up, and she is like, ID, please, and boarding pass. And I had them in my hand, but I couldn't. She was like, ID on your right. And like, there's a whole line behind me of people, and I'm just like frozen because I can't. I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't know which side my right is. Like, I couldn't recall, and I just standing there looking at it. And the handshake, and she was like, on the right. And I'm just like, and so somebody behind me was sweet enough to be like, and I stepped up and I was like, sorry, I'm recently learning I'm neurodivergent, and there's something I'm having a hard time. And I was proud of myself for sticking up for that.
Yes.
And sort of like giving it some language. But the person behind me was like, okay, this is your right. And then she was like, okay, you're fine. And she sort of like helped get me through, because I'm sort of in like this daze of like embarrassed. Like, obviously I feel like an idiot not being able to.
For sure.
And so when I got through, just kind of cried, for a second, of like how embarrassing I look like it, and just shame.
Yeah, it's all right.
But the woman behind me was super sweet. She was like, my child's autistic, and he has, and so I don't know, like, certain like autism can make the fabrics feel off, or like certain things, and so I was so grateful to have a warm person behind me that was like, hey, I got you. And then I was like, I don't know where I'm going, and she was like, oh, we're going to the same gate. And thank God, because we got on a zillion trains. You had to like train hop to get through the airport. And I would have never made it. I would have been like, so that was the airport story. So I came home and just like, oof. Oh man, like right now I still feel like I can feel it in my chest, like boop, 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 boop.
Just telling the story.
Just telling the story is like heightened. Like now, like if you were to talk to me about something else, I feel dysregulate. Like it's hard to like need to. That's in the past. That is not now.